Michael blinked. The world swam into focus. It was wrong. The colors were too vivid, the shapes too strange. Where was he? He had been driving home, hadn't he? A wrong turn, maybe? This wasn't the route he knew. He stepped out of his car. The air hummed with an odd energy. It smelled of salt and something else. Something fishy. A giggle echoed around him, high-pitched and unsettling. Michael spun around, searching for the source. There, in the middle of the street, stood a figure. It was vaguely humanoid, but its skin was a pale, shimmering blue, and its mouth was a wide, toothy grin. This was Eskemoz. The creature, whose name Michael would later learn was Finn, gestured for him to follow.
They walked down a street that shimmered like an underwater mirage. Buildings twisted and turned, their surfaces adorned with strange aquatic symbols. The creatures that populated this world, the Eskemoz, were everywhere. They moved with a fluid grace, their toothy grins ever present. Their eyes, black and shiny like obsidian beads, followed Michael with curious intensity. He felt like a specimen under a microscope, every move scrutinized. They reached a large, open plaza. In the center, a fountain bubbled, the water tinged a deep crimson. Around the fountain, Eskemoz of all shapes and sizes went about their day. Michael felt a sense of unease wash over him. Michael learned that teeth were everything in Eskemoz. They were a symbol of status, of beauty, of individuality.
Finn, noticing Michael's fascination, eagerly showed off his own tattoos. Each tooth held a different design, a swirling vortex, a leaping fish, a crescent moon.
Michael listened intently as Finn explained their meanings, each symbol a piece of his history, his family, his very being.
The process of tooth tattooing was long and arduous, a true test of endurance. Special artists, revered for their steady hands and knowledge of ancient inks, etched the designs onto the enamel. The pain, Finn explained, was excruciating. But it was a rite of passage, a way to earn one's place in Eskemoz society. Here, teeth weren't just for chewing, they were a canvas, a way to express oneself, a source of pride and identity. As days turned into nights, Michael grew accustomed to the rhythms of Eskemoz. He learned their language, a series of clicks, whistles, and guttural sounds. He sampled their food, a bizarre but surprisingly delicious cuisine based on seaweed, fish, and something he suspected was better left unidentified.
But one thing continued to unsettle him, the Eskimos' predatory nature. Their sharp teeth weren't just for show.
Michael had witnessed fights erupt in the streets, flashes of teeth and snarls of aggression, yet for all their predatory instincts, the Eskemoz had also created a surprisingly peaceful society. They had laws, customs, and rituals that kept their more savage impulses in check. They valued community, cooperation, and respect, even as they celebrated their sharp-toothed heritage. This paradox, this strange balance between predator and community, fascinated Michael. One evening, as the sky glowed with 1,000 shades of purple and green, Finn took Michael to a special gathering.
It was the night of the Tooth Truce, a monthly event where the Eskemoz came together to celebrate their community bond.
The atmosphere was festive, the air filled with music, laughter, and the scent of roasting kelp. Michael watched as Eskemoz of all ages and backgrounds mingled freely, their sharp teeth glinting in the firelight.
They shared stories, danced and played games, their interactions marked by a surprising tenderness.
The sight of these creatures, whose very appearance screamed danger, interacting with such warmth and camaraderie, was both jarring and heartwarming. Finn explained that the Tooth Truce was a sacred time, a reminder that they were more than just their teeth.
It was a celebration of their shared history, their common goals, and the bonds that united them, regardless of their differences.
It was a time to put aside their predatory instincts and embrace the power of community. Eskemoz was a land of contrasts. While their culture was deeply rooted in tradition and ritual, they were also surprisingly advanced when it came to technology.
Their unique physiology and ever-present teeth played a crucial role in their technological innovations.
Michael marveled at their bioluminescent streetlights, powered by the phosphorescent bacteria that lived symbiotically within their teeth. He learned about their intricate communication systems, where clicks and whistles were amplified and transmitted through a network of underwater sonic conduits, their teeth acting as living receivers.
He was particularly impressed by their dental drones, tiny, tooth-shaped machines that could fly, swim, and even burrow underground.
Controlled by intricate tooth taps and whistles, these drones were used for everything from surveillance to package delivery. The Eskemoz had seamlessly integrated their unique biology with their technological advancements, creating a world that was both familiar and utterly alien. Michael learned of the Great Tooth Ritual, a solemn ceremony held every decade. It was a time of renewal, of reflection, and of honoring the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth.
During the ritual, each Eskemoz would willingly offer up one of their teeth to the Great Maw, a colossal, sentient clam that resided in the deepest part of their ocean.
The offering was seen as a sacrifice, a way of giving back to the entity they believed had granted them life and to ensure the continued prosperity of their community. It was a painful process, but the Eskemoz faced it with stoic courage, their chants echoing through the underwater city as they offered their teeth to the Great Maw.
The ritual is a powerful symbol of our interconnectedness, our willingness to put the needs of the community above our own.
It was a stark reminder that even in this strange, tooth-obsessed world, true strength lay not in individual power, but in the bonds of community and the willingness to sacrifice for the greater good. Michael watched in awe as Finn, along with hundreds of other Eskemoz, participated in the ritual. The Day of the Smiles was Eskimos' most joyous festival, a celebration of laughter, friendship, and the simple act of smiling.
On this day, the usual emphasis on sharp teeth was replaced with a focus on joy and camaraderie.
The streets are filled with music, dancing, and the infectious sound of laughter.
We, the Eskemoz, with our sharp teeth adorned with colorful decorations, exchange gifts, play games, and share stories.
It was a day for children to revel in the festivities, for adults to reconnect with loved ones, and for everyone to simply enjoy each other's company. The air vibrated with a palpable energy, a contagious sense of joy that was impossible to resist. Michael found himself caught up in the spirit of the day, laughing and dancing alongside the Eskemoz.
I've grown accustomed to their sharp teeth, no longer seeing them as a threat, but as a unique and integral part of their culture.
Finn led him back to the shimmering portal that had brought him to Eskemoz. They stood there for a moment, the air thick with unspoken words.
I reached out and clasped Finn's hand, his own hand dwarfed by the Eskimos' scaled grip.
Michael wanted to thank him, to express his gratitude for the incredible journey, but words seemed inadequate.
Finn, sensing his emotions, simply smiled, his sharp teeth glinting in the fading light. He gave Michael's hand a final squeeze, a gesture that spoke volumes.
Then, with a nod of farewell, Finn turned and melted back into the crowd of celebrating Eskemoz. Michael took a deep breath and stepped into the portal. The world dissolved around him, the colors and sounds of Eskemoz fading into a distant memory.
I knew I would never forget my time in Eskemoz, a place that had challenged my perceptions and opened my eyes to the boundless possibilities that existed beyond the familiar.
Michael got back into his car, the leather seat strangely comforting after his time in the fantastical world of Eskemoz.
I put the key in the ignition, but I didn't start the engine right away. I sat there for a moment, lost in thought, the echoes of Eskemoz still swirling in my mind.
He thought about the Eskemoz, their sharp teeth, their strange customs, and their unwavering sense of community. He thought about their resilience, their ability to find harmony in a world that seemed designed for conflict.
As I finally started the engine and pulled away from the curb, I couldn't help but smile. It wasn't a wide, toothy grin like the Eskemoz, but a small, genuine smile that reflected a newfound appreciation for the beauty of diversity, the importance of understanding, and the enduring power of human connection, no matter how strange or unfamiliar it may seem.
He had journeyed to a land of toothy smiles and shark-like mysteries, and he had returned with a heart full of wonder and a spirit of unity.